On this week's show, I get my ears pierced, I talk about my hatred of having my hair cut, should we still pay the BBC licence fee, the Grand Tour, is it coming to an end, and so much more, including Ricky Gervais's AfterLife. This is Moyes N More. Hello and welcome to another episode of Moyes N More, an episode of which I am a bit ill. I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm not going to lie to you. That end song I'll be performing later on will be worse than it would have been normally if I had a decent voice. But hey ho, the show must go on. It's Moyes N More Series 3 Episode 2. I'd like to say thank you for everyone who watched last week's episode, and thank you to everyone who sent me a message and said, it was alright, apart from you made me sound gay. Alright, Skipper. So yeah, I'm back for another week. I'll get on to what's been going on in showbiz land a little later on, but I want to start by saying you may think that I look a bit different this week, and that's because I went out to the city because it's Easter half term, so I had to keep busy. I went out to the city last week with a few college friends, and I went through a bit of a transformation. I had a trim. Nice little trim. But I also got persuaded to have my ear pierced. And you may be wondering, ear pierced, that doesn't sound too bad. No, I then got persuaded to have my ears pierced. Yes, ears with an S. And disclaimer, I'm going to say this, disclaimer, I did Google it. The left one is the straight ear, if you have just the left one done. The gay ear is the right ear, and that's only if you have the right one alone done. But if you have both ears, it's completely normal. I Googled it. But I came home, and my mum was like, are you gay? I'm like, no, mum. No, I'm not gay. You don't know, I had a girlfriend. She's like, yeah, well, Elton John had a girlfriend. I'm like, fair point. But no, disclaimer, I'm not gay. I am straight. And I actually have footage of me getting my ears pierced. So enjoy this.
Does it hurt? Yeah, I do. Thanks.
All you can hear is this. Once you heard that stuff.
Alright. Not great with pain. You'll be fine.
Alright, yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
Can we just pause it here to have a look at how red my face is at this point? I don't know why it was so red, because it didn't even hurt.
Well, at school when you make staple guns, you for fun.
Same sort of thing.
Hang on a minute, did the bloke agree with me that it's like getting staple gunned? That was a joke, mate.
Cheers.
Right? No.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed I didn't give a better reaction than that, because I was expecting it to hurt and I wanted it filmed so I could make it entertainment. But literally I sat there and, like I said in the clip, it just feels like when you're sitting in geography and Harry Danes shoots you with a staple gun. Do you know what I mean? It didn't hurt a bit. But I'm not getting anything else done. Someone mentioned, should I get the Prince Albert done? But I thought, no. There's only a few things that go near my penis, and an ear piercing or a Jap side piercing would not be one of them. Yeah. So I went and got this little transformation because people who I go to college with, they think I'm a bit of an old man, which I know. I've been a bit of an old man for a long time. I mean, I wear a bloody flat cap, for God's sake, you know. But they come from a different background than me. They live in the city. I live out in the country where I do country things, wearing flat caps. But they said, no, we'll give you a bit of a transformation. So I said, all right, I'll have a haircut because I needed a haircut. I weren't expecting the ear pierce, but I did get my ears pierced, and it's really annoying because I go to itch my ear and I scratch it, forgetting, and like my ear has a period. I'm like, what's going on here then? we're talking about haircuts. I hate having my hair cut because I'm such a social awkward person with new people, and you go in really awkwardly. Can I have a haircut, please? And they're like, yeah, sit down. We'll sort you out in a minute. So you sit down in the haircutter's seat, and they put a gown around you, and they tickle your neck when they fiddle it up. So I laugh. I go, ha ha ha. They're like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, tickle. And I hate having it done because you're sitting there in awkward silence. There's that small talk, like when you get in a taxi, you're like, been busy then? You always wanted to do this and all that sort of stuff. Weather's nice outside, been busy, how many people you got booked in, what time you on till. And all that small talk's done. You sit there in silence. And the worst part is you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And you know how ugly you are. The guy knows how ugly you are. But the worst thing about having your hair cut, the worst thing I hate, you're sitting there and he's standing to the side of you like that, doing your hair. And his penis is resting on your elbow on the chair. And then you're in two sort of situations, like, what do I do here? Because if I leave my arm here, then I'm sort of in a strange position because he'll think that I enjoy having his penis on my elbow. But then if I move my elbow away, he'll know that I know that his penis is on my elbow. So you're in a bit of a awkward situation, to say the least. But luckily, it isn't a sticky situation, of course. When I was a kid, my mum used to cut my hair, so I had no worries. I sit on the kitchen chair, looking out the window. You know, life's good. I hate having my hair cut. I have my hair cut about 3 times a year. And then my mum didn't do hairs anymore, so I went to a hairdresser. I liked my hairdresser. I went for her quite regularly. About 2 years I was using her. And then something happened. So I went to a new Barbers. A new male Barbers opened up in the town. So I thought, I'll try there. And the first time was a bit awkward, but I didn't mind it because Homes Under the Hammer was on the telly. But like I say, it's that awkward sort of first thing with barbers. It's like a first date, and I don't like it. So that's what I got up to. I had my ears pierced, had a trim, and I brought some new clothes. So yeah, that's been what I've been up to. So yeah, I want to get on now to Ricky Gervais, and I like Ricky Gervais. I'm a massive fan of most of his work, but some of his work is a lot better than others. So for example, Derek. Derek is my favourite of Ricky Gervais's all-time work, as well as Humanity. But then about a month ago, he released AfterLife. Now AfterLife is just brilliant. I haven't heard anyone say a bad word about it yet. It's emotional, it's funny, it's everything you want. Ricky Gervais has done it good. It's offensive. And Ricky Gervais ran a poll on Twitter this week asking for everyone's favourite moments. And there was a lot of moments to choose from. But this has been voted the all-time favourite scene from AfterLife Series 1. And yes, there will be a Series 2. So, this was in the trailer. This, I think, one of the clips that brought a load of people in to watch AfterLife who sort of wouldn't watch Ricky Gervais anyway. This is the clip that sort of brought everyone in. The funniest bit from the trailer. It was in the first episode, and that's been voted the favourite scene of all time in AfterLife. Have a look at this.
Pedo!
What?
Pedo!
I'm not a pedo, and if I was, you'd be safe, you tubby little ginger cunt.
Yes, that is the best thing probably Ricky Gervais has ever said. AfterLife's a programme about death and all that sort of thing. And I myself have been involved in a death recently. In fact, it was my own. Yeah, bear with me on this one. So, I was at work one Sunday. I don't normally work Sundays, but I was covering. I still work at the co-op. And someone came in, someone I work with actually. He said, "Oi, aren't you dead?" I'm like, "Hey, come again." He said, yeah, Elson, you're dead. He got his phone out and it was on Facebook. Someone had posted a picture of me saying, rest in peace, Jake Moyes. Gone, but it was taken from us too soon or something like that. And I thought, what? I'm not dead. And throughout that day, because I was at work, I couldn't go on Facebook to do anything about it. And all that day, people were coming in, what, fucking hell? I thought you were dead. I'm like, no, I'm not dead. So I went home, put a Facebook thing on saying, thanks for everyone who pretended to care, but I'm not dead. And why are you pretending to care now that I'm dead when you couldn't give a shit as I'm alive? And the girl who put it on Facebook rang me up. She said, I'm really sorry, but someone rang me up and said that you died, and I was high at the time, so I just put it on Facebook. I don't know what I was thinking. So I said, thanks, but I'm not dead. I'm completely breathing. I know I'm not the healthiest of people going, but I'm not dead. And it turned out that someone with my name had died, and everyone just assumed it was me because we live in sort of a small sort of county and everyone knows each other's business, and my name, you wouldn't expect someone in the next town to have my name. But yeah, after life, there is a life, because after my death I'm still alive. Now moving on, also this week Britain's Got Talent, or a couple of weeks ago Britain's Got Talent returned, but this week there was a golden buzzer by Simon. Now Simon is really picky, he's the pickiest judge of them all, and he pressed his golden buzzer this week. And my personal opinion, and I've looked on Twitter, a lot of people had the same opinion as me, the person that he pushed his golden buzzer for, I don't really think deserved the golden buzzer.
The experience in a black cab is the most awful thing ever. They charge you before you even speak to the driver. You step in, $2.50. Hold on a minute. You sit down, £3. Hey! Let's discuss this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's got to a point where I don't even have a destination when I get into a black cab. When the driver says, where do you want to go? I say, take me to £5.
Very good. Being a young sort of comedian-ish person I am, I love it when a comedian goes on Britain's Got Talent. I mean, Lost Voice Guy won it last year. But this week, Kojo, a comedian, went on, friends with Alicia Dixon. I didn't laugh once. I probably sniggered once. I probably went, yeah. Probably went like that once. And he got the golden buzzer. I don't see how.
But I'm going to be honest with you, Kojo, I don't really like comedians on this show. But I love you.
Now I want to talk about something really sad. Sadder than AfterLife, if you like. The Grand Tour. The Grand Tour came to an end this week as a studio show. And although Jeremy, James and Richard are carrying on doing specials, it was something sad about the last studio show, because they've been doing it for 17 years. James, admittedly, was late to the first series, so he came along in the second series of Top Gear after that fat bloke was in. It's James, mate. He was bound to get lost and be late. They've been doing it for 17 years, and when they left Top Gear, they didn't really get a chance to say goodbye, so the Grand Tour sort of carried on like nothing had happened. And in the last episode of the Grand Tour Series 3 this week, Jeremy actually broke down and cried. But before I show you that clip, let's see the clip from the last episode of their era of Top Gear.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed those films, and all that remains now is for us to say thank you for watching.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for watching, and, well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it sort of ended like, right, see ya, and then the credits just rolled up in complete silence. But this was sadder on the Grand Tour. Let's have a look at Jeremy breakdown first. Let's have a look at that.
We are
this is not just the last in the series. I mean, sorry, it's the show as you know it is actually ending with, you know, the track, audience, us three, and really badly fitting jackets every week. Well, this is the last one.
Yeah, it was sad seeing Jeremy cry. It's like watching your dad cry, because you've sort of grown up with Jeremy as a father figure in your life, sort of telling you what to think about cars and all that sort of thing. And he cried. But the thing that really got me on that ending of the Grand Tour is that they put together a little montage of clips. But the thing that got me was it wasn't just clips from the Grand Tour. They'd put together a montage of clips from old Top Gear as well, and it was fantastic. And at the end, they were all crying and saying, God, we've had some laughs and all that sort of thing. And then someone shouted out from the audience and said, don't stop then, guys. So to which they said, well, we're not stopping. We're just stopping the studio tour, sad as it is. But we're doing specials. And then he was on Jonathan Ross the other night. And one of the specials they're doing, they're going back to Vietnam. Remember when they were in Vietnam on motorcycles on Top Gear? They're going back to do something like that again. So the Grand Tour may be over as a studio show, but it's coming back as specials. And I'm look forward to it, as sad as it may be. And when one door closes, another one opens. And I'm really looking forward to this. Also on Jonathan Ross the other night, Jeremy Clarkson was asked, so Jeremy, would you say you're secretly happy that Top Gear is not a success without you?
It's a hard face to pull, this one. Let me try.
Because the other guys are always very generous and always saying...
Yeah, James and Richard always say, no, it's a shame. We wish them all the best. I don't.
The last thing on the agenda for today's show is, since we've been off air, every year you have to pay a BBC licence fee. And that fee enables you to watch telly, live telly, like BBC One and, you know, your EastEnders and, you know, your MasterChef and all that crap. But the licence fee has gone up. It's gone up to £154.50 for a coloured TV set. And I was reading this, I thought, what? And then it's gone up to £64.50 for a black and white TV. And I was reading this, I thought, there was two things I was thinking. Is one, why are we still paying for this shit? And the second thing was, who the fuck has a black and white TV these days? Who's going down to the post office and says, yeah, I'd like to renew my my BBC licence fee, please, my television licence fee. It's a black and white TV, so I'll only be paying the £64.50. And who's going into Currys in this day and age, 2019? People are changing their genders. Who's going into Currys and saying, yeah, that 4K TV looks nice, mate, but have you got one in black and white? Have you got one in black and white? You know, I don't like colour, me. I'll have one in black and white, please, son. You got 4K in black and white? Come on, let's go to warehouse and see what you got round back. You got one in back? You got round back? Can you go check stock out back, please? You got one in black and white? Who the fuck is watching TV on black and white? It's 2019, people. People are changing genders. People are identifying as washing machines. But you've still got a bloody black and white television. I think we should stop the BBC licence fee because they put so much shit on the telly and it's all repeated, it's all crap. I mean, when am I going to get my gig on the telly? When I get my gig on the telly, I'll start paying my fee again. And for legal reasons, I do pay my BBC licence fee. Obviously. That's all we've got time for this week on Moyes N More. Next week, I'll have some more topics to talk about and some more funny stories of my life. And I'm going to let you into a little secret, ladies and gentlemen. Bullshit might be back in a few weeks' time. So I'm going to leave you off with another song this week. And this week, it is another Beatles classic Billy, if you're watching this, you'll join in. It's Octopus's Garden. I'll see you next week on Moyes N More. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. Take care. I'll see you later on. Ta-da. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He'd let us in, knows where we've been, in his octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see in an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting our heads on the seabed in an octopus's garden near a cave. We would sing and dance around because we know we can't be found. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would shout and swim about the coral that lies beneath the waves. Oh, what a joy for every girl and boy, knowing they're happy and they're safe. We would be so happy, you and me, no one there to tell us what to do. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you.